Hi again all. In this video, who are the best non-North American players to ever play the game? Coming up. Alright, I had a request. I'll show you the clip. And we'll talk a bit about it. Here's the clip. And shout out goes to Princess Dog, and he says, Wayne, how about a video of the top 10 non-North American sabers of all time? Princess, I've already done this video. I did it back about 4 months ago. I'm going to put a link. I'll pin a note and I'll put the link there, okay? And you can go check it out there if you haven't seen that video. I did make it months ago. It was called the top 10 foreign sabers of all time, but it's the same thing. It's basically not non-North American. So I will put it in a pin note below. But what I have done, Princess, instead is I've come up with the top 15 non-North American players of all time. I made a list of it. I just got into the idea of making it, so I made it. This will be good for all hockey fans. And we will get started. I'm going to do a 16 though. I got to throw 16 in here. So here it is. All right, coming in at 16 are the Sedin twins. There you see Henrik, and there you see Daniel. Both of them 1,000-point careers. I had to put them in there regardless because I really can in good spirit put them in the top 15 with the names I'm going to roll out at you. I just can't. I mean, they had Hall of Fame careers, there's no doubt, but there's more and more and more of these players now, so there's more and more greater ones that come in. All right, so now we'll get to number 15. Here we go. And coming in at number 15, I got Daniel Alfredsson, 1,246 games, 1,157 points, 444 goals. Very, very solid career, we can say, with this guy. Not to mention a Sabres killer as well, eh? This guy seemed to have our number, my goodness. So Alfredsson comes in at number 15, and for anybody that says, well, any Ottawa fan that says, I think Alfredsson should be higher, tell me at least in a note who he should be in front of, because it's not fair just to say he should be higher and not at least call yourself out and say, well, he should be higher than this guy. I just don't think so. Number 14. I got Pavel Datsyuk coming in at number 14, 953 games, 314 goals, 604 assists, 918 points. Another great hockey player, absolutely. But I just can't in good faith put this guy any higher. There's just too many good names I'm going to name out. I can't say Pavel Datsyuk was better than these guys I'm going to name out. I just can't. I know Datsyuk was special. He was good. As for him being one of the greatest players of all time, well, this is what Detroit fans will say. But, you know, fans outside of, 300 goals, 314 goals for me doesn't cut it. It just doesn't cut it to be top 10, really, depending. I will say depending. But Pavel Datsyuk was awesome. You can throw these guys in any order for who your favorite players were, right? I mean, my goodness. Number 13. This will prove I'm not being biased. Here we go. Alexander the Great, I got coming in at number 13. 990 games, 473 goals, 1,032 points for his career. Just a great, great career. As we all know in Buffalo, always will be a Sabre in my eyes. So yeah, McGillney had to cut this list, no matter what. Absolutely. And if you're going to wonder why there's 12 guys in front of them, when you see the names I'm going to name out, guys, it's hard to argue. It really is. For me, it is. All right, here we go. Coming in at number 12. Yari Curry. And just an amazing career, over 600 goals, 601 goals, 797 assists, 1,398 points in 1,251 games. And a part of that big, big Edmonton team, as we all know, in the 80s. Yeah, he was a special talent. It wasn't just Gretzky setting him up, like people will say that, just didn't see him play. Curry was something else. Gretzky could count on this guy to close out deals. He was really something special. So for me, Curry has to be in the top 12. Number 11. I got Pavel Bure, 702 games, 437 goals. and 779 points. Not the biggest guy, eh? 5'10", 189 pounds. Not the biggest guy, but absolutely should be on this list. If I'm doing 15, if I would have done top 10, he might have not cut it, really. And Pavel Bure was awesome, just awesome. Now, my top 10. We'll start here. Here we go. Number 10. I got Peter Forsberg. Yep, 249 goals, 636 assists, 885 points. But the points per game average was really awesome with this guy. And as we know, he was a beast of a forward. He wasn't scared to lay the body on people. He just really had that knack for scoring really at clutch times of the game too. Just so many good things about this guy as we continue moving forward in this list. I loved Peter Forsberg. I just did. I remember when we played the Flyers in that 2006 series, the first round, and I was at the game. I was right behind the penalty box, and he got a penalty. So did Savage. He got a penalty before, and he was really getting riled by the fans, and it was bugging him, you know. Then Forsberg took a penalty, and the Sabres fans were letting him have it. And I swear to God, his eyes were just pierced on the ice. He didn't even hear the fans. They were yelling in the cracks of the window. Couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. Yeah, absolute stud of a hockey player. My goodness. Just him alone for Lindros would have been a fair deal in that trade. Number 9. Matt Sundin, in his amazing career, 1,346 games, 564 goals, 785 assists for 1,349 points. And I might add, he was really Senators' killer come playoff time. 6'5", 231 pounds, everything you want, you know, just a big centerman that could score 500 goals. I mean, just an awesome, awesome talent. And Quebec were crazy trading him. And where am I? I'm at number 8. Here we go. I got Borje Salming coming in, 1,148 games, 787 points for the Hall of Fame blue liner in Toronto, who played on many bad teams in Toronto, I might add. Was many a night the bright spot on a pretty sad Toronto team in that 70s era. You know, and he was plus 170 in his career. When you consider that on that Toronto team he was on, my goodness, you know. He was there in the midst of the Harold Ballard era, this guy. You know, but this guy paved the way for a lot of Europeans, Borje Salming. He was way ahead of his time in the NHL. He brought that finesse speed game of a defenseman, that offensive swing game that we didn't really see. I know Bobby Orr did it, but we didn't really see it from many defensemen, you know. So Borje Salming for me comes in at number 8. Number 7. I got Henrik Lundqvist coming in at number 7. Might be a bit of a surprise pick there, but I think Lundqvist was the savior of the Rangers on many a night where their team wasn't very good early in his career. And his career numbers are pretty awesome. 243 goals against average, a 918 save percentage, 459 wins, 310 losses. Just a great, great goalie. Really, a great goalie that we really shouldn't forget. I guess I should have mentioned in the beginning, I'll retire, guys, just so you know. There's nobody here that's active. I'm not doing that. Not till their careers are over. You know, I'll do that when their careers are over. Next, we are number 6. Peter Stastny. For those of you that didn't get to see Peter Stastny, he came over with his brothers with one of the most exciting lines in Nordique's history at the time. And, you know, many things can be said about what an impact this guy had coming over to the Nordiques, I remember. And when the announcers would, I remember when the announcers would announce them, it wouldn't be, they wouldn't say Stastny, they say Peter, Anton, Marian. You know, this is the way they would say their names. I still remember, you know, Peter, Anton, Marian, like this is the way they would announce it. Yeah, he was a big reason that the Nordiques became a strength in that era, in the early 80s, when they became a strength all of a sudden in the NHL. Peter Stastny was a huge reason. 977 games, 1,239 points, guys. Just a really solid career. And he was a minus 15. Think about it. He wasn't on the best of teams, this guy, but they did get really good with him. And he aged very gracefully, I might add, also, when he went over to other teams after in the NHL. All right, especially, where are we now? We're number 5. Here we go. And Stan Mikita comes in at number 5, 5'9", 169 pounds. And in his career, 1,396 games, 541 goals, 926 assists for 1,467 points, a plus 329. Just awesome numbers, right? Stan Mikita was productive. I remember right till his career ended. He just always produced, it seemed, this guy. Even when he got older and he had that beanie helmet on, I remember, he still produced. So Mikita absolutely had to be the top 10 in this list. And I couldn't in good conscience put him any lower, really. But again, you might have a different pick. Number 4, folks, here we go. Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, comes in at number 4, 1,451 games, 684 goals, 773 assists, 1,457 points. You get the picture. When these guys are averaging a point a game average, those are amazing, amazing careers, eh? But 684 goals he scored. 684. It's a staggering number. It is. It's just incredible. All right, so Selanne had to come in at number 4 for me. Number 3. And Nick Lidstrom comes in at number 3. This guy seemed to be just the perfect defenseman, especially when he hit his 30s. He hit that stride of, it seemed like he was invincible at one point. This guy just wouldn't make mistakes on the ice. And I always compare Bill Height to this guy. But look at the numbers. 1,564 games, 1,142 points, a plus 450. Of course, he was on powerhouse teams led by Yzerman and stuff like that, yes. But still, he was a big part of that team. He wasn't just enjoying the ride. This guy was a big, big part of that Detroit team and that Detroit era of all those cups. So Nick Lidstrom, for me, has to make top 3. That, for me, was a no-brainer. Number 2. And the Dominator, for me, comes in at number 2, guys. He has to be number 2. I couldn't put him any lower than this, and you'll see the reason why I couldn't put him any higher. But Hasek, I mean, you look at his goals against average for his career, 220. His save percentage, 922. Just, as we know, there's not much else to be said. Just a fantastic talent that we'll never see again. Greatest goalie in NHL history. He has to be there. Number 1. And Jaromir Jagr comes in number 1. Look at those numbers. 1,733 games, 766 goals, 1,155 assists for 1,921 points, a plus 322 for his career also. Jagr's numbers were insane. As we know, he's second all time in NHL scoring. Jagr has to come in at number 2. Number 1. Jagr had to be number 1. For me, that was a no-brainer, guys. That was right off the cuff. I knew Jagr was number 1. It wasn't hard. And for me, I had to put Hasek in front of Lidstrom. I just had to, because he was a more dominant goalie than Lidstrom was a defenseman. And Lidstrom was awesome. But how many Hart trophies did Lidstrom win? You know, and we can compare and the accolades and everything. I have to put Hasek, in all good faith, I have to put Hasek number 2 and Lidstrom number 3. Very close number 3, though. I fought with it. There's the positioning of this list I fought with. Don't think I didn't. I did. But when push came to shove, the points had to win out in most of the arguments, you know. All right, done for this one. See you in the next one, guys.